Hi there everyone, it's Vaughan with South Pasadena Homes, and in today's episode we're going to look at a home that was built in 1932, and remarkably it's remained almost intact from that time till now. If you're interested in seeing a great historic home, stay tuned. Let's go. So the year was 1932. The Great Depression was raging. Not the Great Recession, the Great Depression. The worst economic disaster to ever hit the United States of America. 1 in 4 people were out of work at that time. And into that steps Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He ran for president that year and he won. It would be just a few months later that he delivered his "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself" speech during his inauguration. And into that environment at that time, someone built a house in South Pasadena at 2026 Stratford Avenue. So let's take a look at some of the stats for this house so you know what it's like, and then we'll look at some video. So 2026 Stratford Avenue in South Pasadena is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home. It's 2,054 square feet. It's on a 6,600 square foot lot. As I mentioned, it was built in 1932, and the architecture is generally regarded as Mediterranean or Spanish style, which is quite common here in Southern California. And it went to market about 10 days ago. It's still active. It's what's called active under contract, so they do have an offer and they're entering escrow and looking at the offer, and if it passes through, the home will be sold. If not, they'll most likely take a backup offer. The home was available and listed at $1,050,000. And my understanding is that they had over 40 offers for this home, and it's pushed up now into the $1.6 million range. All of the offers had to be all cash because this particular home has no heating in it, in which case it's very difficult, if not impossible, to get a mortgage. So they requested that only cash buyers make offers for this house. So let's take a look at where this home is in South Pasadena. And you can see on a map of South Pasadena that it's at the southern edge of South Pasadena. So here's a map of South Pasadena. You can see the borders here. And at the bottom, the southern border with Alhambra is a street called Stratford, comes off of Marengo. And about midway on this street is 2026 Stratford. It's very close to Alhambra Park and the city of Alhambra. It's right near the border of Alhambra. So that's where it is in South Pasadena. Now let's take a look at some of the video of this house. I was in there a few days ago with a client, and you can see from this first bit of video that it's on a beautiful tree-lined street. These are Chinese elm trees that you're seeing. It's a very quiet street. It's not a main street, and the trees are very mature, which is common for here in South Pasadena because most of the homes in this area were built in the early to mid 1900s. So here's the home. As I said, it's a Spanish, or some people call it Mediterranean architecture, and it has great street presence. It's a really fantastic looking home from the street. It's got tons of curb appeal, and you can see on the side there it's got a beautiful sort of covered area. There's a better look at it with the arches, and that protects you as you come into the house. Here's the main living area of the house, which has high ceilings. They're a little bit domed as well. plenty of light. We didn't really have many lights on in the house when we were there. It's got this amazing fireplace. Now this fireplace, each of these tiles was individually handmade for this fireplace. So each one could be considered a work of art. And there you can see the keystone piece backing up to see the mantle as well. Now this home was vacant for a period of years. Here's the tile, and the interesting thing about this tile in the entryway is at my home, my parents had the same tile, but they didn't have tile, they had some type of linoleum that had the pattern of that tile. Here's the kitchen with that turquoise tile. It's got a tile countertop in the kitchen. Those are the original cabinets. I believe that's the original sink and original faucet. Pretty well preserved for being from 1932. One challenge is that area for the fridge is not actually big enough for a modern fridge. So you would probably need to get a small fridge, maybe a period fridge to put in there, and then there's a separate area to the side where you could put a larger fridge. So here's one of the bathrooms with its purple toilet, and again with the turquoise tile, turquoise and purple border, purple sink. Here's bathroom number 2, more turquoise, and interesting feature here, a window in the shower, which you don't see that very often. Sometimes in historic homes you do. Now looking at the turquoise tub, there's a turquoise sink. It's so cool. It's so cool. So here's the, I guess you'd call this the kitchen dining area, or formal dining area. It has 2 beautiful built-ins. It's got a coved ceiling in there. You can see some of the deferred maintenance. That's the paint that's just sort of deteriorated from 1932. That might be original paint in there. Now going upstairs to look at one of the bedrooms. This home had beautiful hardwood floors, very well preserved. You can see it here. Very little wear, very few scratches. And then here's the bathroom that's up there. Yellow toilet, yellow sink, purple and yellow tile with black trim. Really amazing. So this is an important aspect of historic homes here in South Pasadena, is that while you do get the preservation of the architecture, you often have systems that need to be upgraded. And in this case, with this home on Stratford, they had what's called an original gravity heater. So a gravity heater is essentially just a big oven that sits down low in the house, and then because heat rises, when you turn the furnace on, the heat begins to go up through the vents into the house. It is a slow process. There's no blowers in a heater like that, and so it can take a while for the house to heat up. The home that I live in here, that was built in 1909, originally had gravity heaters, and it worked pretty well. It's a small house, but it is slow to heat the house up, and it's incredibly inefficient. So today's modern heating and cooling units would have something between, say, 90 to 95% efficiency. A gravity heater would be more on the order of 50% efficiency. So it's a more expensive way to heat your home generally. And no central air conditioning in this house at all. But with regard to this type of heating system in older homes, it would absolutely need to be replaced. And this one has been subject to water damage. You can see the efflorescence around the edge of the concrete, indicating that this was, the bottom of this was submerged in water at one point. And the challenge is that with a heater like this, back in the day, they used asbestos often as the insulating material. So that ductwork, as soon as you disturb it, that's going to become a cancer-causing agent. So you would have to hire special asbestos abatement folks to come in and take care of that safely. There were hazmat suits. They double and triple bagged the asbestos to take it out of the house. They thoroughly clean using special HEPA vac, special filters so that none of that asbestos material is left in the house. There was an inspection report that was provided with this listing, and in the inspection report they detailed numerous things that would be addressed. Of course, you always want to be aware of any foundation work that needs to be done. That's an expensive repair. And also the roof. In this case, it was clear that the roof had leaks and probably needs to, at the very least, be patched, but probably needs to be completely replaced. So that's going to drive the price up of your remodeling of this home. So that's a quick look at a very historic home here in South Pasadena. Not rare to have historic homes here, but one that is mostly untouched for that period of time is quite unusual. So I hope you enjoyed seeing it. And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe, like, all those things. And we'll see you for the next one. Take care.